Okay, here we go. Okay, that was a bit of a mess up. Apparently, my camera and my wireless microphone decided that they don't like each other. So, yeah, as long as you can hear me and you can see stuff later, that's fine. Otherwise, please let me know. So, hello, Charlene. Hello, Lisa. And hello, Kim. Good to see you all. Okay. The plan for today is to do some experiments with cardboard and some other stuff. Basically, over the course of the paper and cardboard challenge, I've been finding different build instructions and recipes for stuff, among other things, things like cardboard furniture, which sounded like a terrible idea, but the more I looked into it, the more interested in it started looking, especially in terms of stuff for storing terrain. The other thing that I tried was to make some wheat paste, which I'm told is stronger on paper and cardboard than PVA. And I cooked up a batch. So if that works, that might be a good alternative for PVA for terrain builds as well. Okay, in case anyone is still not on the Discord and wants in on the crafting challenge, I'm just going to pop in a link. There we go. Okay, so yeah, while you're all here, how are all your builds going? Mm, let's see, actually, you should probably check if everything is going through okay. Yeah, will look okay on YouTube at least. So yeah, let's see. I've got some cardboard over here. Now this is a bit thin, but it should work for these experiments. Actually, you might want something just a bit thicker. So the plan for today is I'm going to be working on this. I'm just going to be making some samples, stuff like corner pieces and so on, just to see how well they glue together. If I can cut them with the with a little flap to see if we can get that to connect correctly. And yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, so this one, the what we want to be doing here is cut some strips out of this, and I want to try and leave one layer of paper on some of them. And the reason for that is that we'll be able to use that to a hide the join, which is not the greatest problem, but it's also supposed to reinforce the connection. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be honest, I probably need some thicker cardboard to get it to work properly, but we'll see how it goes with this. Even with thicker cardboard, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to cut that precisely, to be honest. We'll see how that goes. And if you can hear any marching band music, then yeah, that's going on outside. Unfortunately, I can do nothing about that. People have been shooting fireworks and playing music since about 8 o'clock this morning, which is fantastic for a Sunday. Okay, so Crossboard Terrain is saying I started making paper clay, but still don't know what to build. Depends on what my story will be. Okay, that's cutting it, but fine. It's you've got let's see, 7 days from today, so I'm sure you'll figure something out. Okay, so let's see. We're going to need about this thickness, which is not much. And should probably have sharpened this pencil, but anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is just keep scoring it and trying to feel for it, because if you're not pressing too hard, you can actually feel when you're cutting through the corrugation a bit at least. So hopefully we should be able to tell when we get to the second paper layer. Can try to peel this off right now, I guess. Although I don't think I'm even completely through that layer yet. So that's coming off, it's okay. Can probably go a bit heavier in it than I expected. On the back side here, it's not even scored yet, so we're still far away from the from that. Okay, I am going a bit slow on this. Hey, Cross. Internet not working. So here on the other account on the phone. That's okay. Hope you're doing okay apart from the internet problem. So yeah, basically what I've been seeing a lot of was basically people building furniture using cardboard as a basic structure and then covering it up with papier mâché. Now that by itself would be pretty solid, I guess. I mean, it's not going to be something that you hand over to your grandchildren or great grandchildren, but I'm sure it would last a couple of decades at least. Except that it's not very, it's not very good at dealing with water and moisture. Which I mean, with this humidity, I wouldn't bet on it lasting too long. However, I did come across another channel called Nighthawk and Light. I'll put in the links in the description later. I think Saltinic had pointed it out to me a few months ago, where basically the guy was making this paste out of, let me think, yeah, shellac and beeswax. And the idea there is that that makes it harder, makes it smoother, and it also makes it water repellent. So that should last a lot longer. It's not UV resistant, so that's going to be a problem if you want to put anything outside, but I have no plan to put that outside here. Here, even solid wood will have trouble after a few months, let alone a few years. Okay, so we've got this one going. What I'm going to be trying to do is glue this on this way. I see that I've missed the line a bit, so it's going to be a bit wonky, but it should be enough to see if this will work. I made way too many shingles. There's no such thing as too many shingles. It's any shingles you don't use will be used on another project. Okay, now these were cut along the corrugation. Now I want to do another piece where it's across the corrugation because I want to see if it's any different when it comes to removing the layers. And cutting across, it's easy. It's much easier to tell when you're actually cutting through because you can you can feel it. Yeah, it just means that you need to make more buildings. So it's kind of ironic that we're working on paper and cardboard stuff right now because, I mean, this was unplanned, but basically a couple of weeks ago I started noticing that a lot of small businesses on Facebook were just suddenly putting out these messages saying, hey, we're not going to be able to ship to the European Union anymore, at least for the foreseeable future. And turns out that the European Union just really put out some new regulations about packaging. And there's a whole mess of stuff there that basically you need to, if you're shipping stuff to the EU, you need to register what you're shipping to every individual country. You have to pay some registration fees. You have to get some certifications. And yeah, that's literally too much work for any small business. Uh, let's say if you're shipping one item to a particular country, you have to go through the whole shebang. even if you literally ship one item per year in that country. You're on the hook for the whole registration and stuff, which is terribly unreasonable. And as far as that affects me, for example, that obviously that affects me with getting crafting products from smaller suppliers. Uh, I can't even order fencing equipment because, again, most of the suppliers are relatively small companies. So, yeah, that's not good. Hopefully, they should be coming up with an amendment in October. They'll be voting on that in October, where they're limiting it to companies with over 49 employees or over $10 million of turnover. Sorry, 10 million euro of turnover. I hope they do, but yeah, it's like I'll believe that when I see it. But yeah, it's kind of funny because we're building stuff with packing material, and they're like, no more packing material for you. Okay, so in this orientation, I was seeing that this is the way to do it. So I cut through the first paper layer, and now I'm scraping the rest of the corrugation off in this area. It is a lot easier. However, there's also a problem with this because remember that corrugated cardboard is strongest in the direction of the corrugation. So this should take some compression like this, but it will depend on which way the object that we're building will want to stay. But yeah, cleaning it up this way is much easier than cleaning it up along the corrugation. Yeah, okay, so that's two pieces done. And let's test out the wheat paste. So I made this yesterday. Looks weird. And yeah, this is basically as much as I made from 3 teaspoons of flour. If this works, it's really fantastic because that will save me so much PVA on my cardboard builds. If it doesn't work, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. Ew, this, this looks disgusting. I don't know if it's the right consistency or anything, but we'll see. And yeah, look at it. It does look pretty disgusting. But this stuff we do for science. Not sure if I'm supposed to put it on both sides, but I'm just going to try that. Yeah, you tell them, Chris. No such thing as too many shingles. So yeah, this stuff is supposed to keep for about a week if you keep it refrigerated. And I did put in a little vinegar in there. You. It does feel super icky. So there's that to consider if you don't like slimy stuff on your fingers. Now, there are a lot of things I don't know about it, like for example, how long it takes to set or whatever. But like I mentioned before, I'm told it's stronger than PVA on paper and cardboard, and apparently it's also sandable when it's dry, which is a big plus because most of the PVA I've been able to find at least isn't really sandable. So let's just figure out how long this thing will take. Seems to be keeping together at least. Let's splooge this one. I really hate this. Doesn't seem to have much of a smell at all. I mean, there is a faint smell of vinegar because I put some of that in to hopefully prevent it from rotting if something goes wrong. I'm going to have to throw anyway if there's anything left over after a week, but hopefully it won't start smelling really bad. If it does, I'll let you all know next week if there are any unusual smells before then. Looks like mashed taters with too much cream or very thin white gravy. I'll be honest, I mean, like, you know, seeing get splashed on here, it looks more like a certain kind of Japanese erotic cinema. But yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Think happy thoughts, Scarlett. Think happy thoughts. How long does paper clay last with vinegar? Asking for a friend. Literally, I have no clue. I mean, again, if you refrigerate it, I would say a week, maybe two, but I have no idea. Okay, so here I can see a problem already because this so long it's warping slightly. So probably I would want to use some clamps if I want to use something this long. Is it the length or is it the? It might actually be because of the orientation of the corrugation, or it could be both. Yeah, definitely. So there's one thing we've just learned is that it works much more easily on the on the corrugation rather than across it. So actually, it still seems to be holding together pretty well, even if it's a compromise joint. Now, the other thing I want to test is to make sure that it dries completely clear. And of course, that it can be, actually, this is already holding out pretty well. So I'm just going to paint it on this one, and then I've got some sandpaper here, and we can try to hit it with that. After that, what I would like to try is getting some scraps of paper and try to build them over the thing. See how that goes. Because again, the papier-mâché thing is basically one of the things that will give the stuff most of its strength. I mean, as far as transparency goes, it's pretty good. It's barely visible. And yeah, while we're here, might as well experiment with some other features. Let's see, like surface to surface glue up. So let's see. We're just going to glue these pieces flat and see what happens. You. Okay, this does look pretty disgusting, but luckily it's still very water soluble, so I can hopefully clean everything up later. So here goes. So I've got this. We'll try to tear them apart later to see how much strength that takes. Here I can see that this one is bowing already. So one thing it's got in common with PVA, because it's got water in it, that's going to cause some warping in there. So that's something that we're going to need to expect. How about these? Oh, this is still very tacky, but it's holding together. Eh, Get rid of this stuff real quick. At least for my aesthetic uh, for my aesthetic peace of mind. Okay. So this one, obviously we just put it on so it's not even fully cured, but it still takes a little pressure to get it to move. So it tacks up fairly quickly. I can still slide them apart from each other right now because it's wet, but it didn't just slide off as it would with PVA at this stage. Okay, this is still tacky. Let's see what else. What else? What else? Trying to see where I put my paper bags. It doesn't look too messy from here. Yeah, I mean you are on the other side of the ocean, so it hides a lot of stuff. Ah, yes, paper bags. Okay, so going to cut another piece of card glue to get a right angle like this one, and then we'll just put the paper directly on top of it. Card. Hmm. Oh yeah, might as well test it with this one. So this one has a glossy finish on one side. Let's see if that makes a difference. And I should put this one out of the way because I keep knocking it over. Damn it. Sit. Okay. So corrugation across there. I think if I had to make some larger pieces, then some kind of lamp or at least something to hold them in position for a while would probably be super useful. Like I said, mostly this is for storage and stuff, but I don't know. I could see this being used for example, the cardboard structures on tabletop buildings or stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I could reconstruct the gaming board that I have on my wall instead of going with a wooden frame for it. Potentially, you could easily do that with a cardboard frame. It would be, I think, it would be much more accessible for anyone. Definitely cheaper. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's the sound of the knife going over the corrugation. So here it seems I got a little too much. There's a little line that I can't, I'm not sure if you can see on the, yeah, here. It's only very faintly visible, but it should not be too much of a problem. So that's a bit of overcutting there. But the rest of the stuff seems to coming off quite easily. Okay, let's split it up. So I have no idea how much you're supposed to put on this thing. I mean, how much glue you're supposed to use, but what I'm doing is basically putting objectively too much of it and then smoothing it out with the brush. Okay, so let that sit for a second while we tear up some of this. Okay, one thing I can already tell from this is that bugs seem to be very interested in it because I have this piece drying over here and insects seem to have zeroed in on it, which it might not be a good sign. But let's see if we can get a paper coating on here. This is probably something that should wait until the original thing is completely dry, but we'll see how it goes. The paper seems to really like it. Hey, Lose the collected. Good to see you. I just took a break from defoliating the jungle around our house. What is our madman doing today? I am gluing a piece of cardboard together with this homemade wheat splooge thingy. And apparently doing ASMR paper tearing noises. I'm not into the whole ASMR thing. There are a couple of ASMR history channels which I like to listen to, especially when I'm trying to sleep. Not just plain ASMR where you're just listening to things though. I think if I remember correctly, one of them was called the ASMR historian, and the other one was the French ASMR whisperer who also does history. They're both super relaxing. Also, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not usually one who gets upset at having dirt or grease or stuff on my fingers, but this is kind of icky. And like I said, I mean, I'm really hoping this works because, uh, again, this much, that's basically from three teaspoons of flour. So that's a lot of glue, which would probably save a lot on PVA if that works. Karl, no, like icky. Well, I think it's more accurate to say that I like icky on my own terms. Okay, so what I suspect is happening here is that because I'm moving this a lot, I'm probably breaking the glue joint on the inside every time I move it, but at least on the outside, the paper seems to be Go on, real well. So maybe let's give some attention to the inside too. Does the ASMR historian sound like people whacking each other with swords or calling, bring out your dead? No, basically it's just this guy who just talk about, I don't know, a given historical period or a given event or something, and they just do it in this super relaxing voice. And yes, they could be talking about plagues and slaughter and destruction, but it's so super relaxing to listen to them. Okay, Kim, you take care of yourself and have a great day. Well, it is kind of strange, I mean, because, yeah, I should probably start talking like this during office meetings so that people don't panic. Yes, everything is broken, things are on fire, but everything is okay because you are calm. So PVA water flower is the mix. No, the mix is just water and flour. So you start by making a slurry with flour and cold water. Yeah, and then you mix it. You just mix it in so that there are no lumps or anything. Then you set some water to boil. I went with okay. This was, let's see, 3 tablespoons of flour, and not including the water that went into the slurry. There were 12 tablespoons of water in the pan. So get that to boil and then pour the slurry in, and then you keep stirring it until it starts to thicken up. Then once it's thick enough, you just take it off the heat, and you keep mixing it so that it doesn't burn. There's also a microwave version of the recipe, but I prefer to burn stuff the old-fashioned way. Now, I think there are recipes that include some PVA, but uh, actually, rather than PVA, I think they include what do you call it? Wallpaper paste, wallpaper paste powder. Although from most sources I've seen, it's like it's not something that's really necessary, and it just makes it more expensive. Plus, I think again, most of the people I've seen doing this are either well making furniture from recyclable stuff, where actually having a biodegradable thing is important. Or people who are doing bookbinding, where having a reversible recipe is important. Let's see, I used PVA flour water mix coat to form coat it with acrylic and seal with a matte clear spray paint. It seemed pretty tough, but it eventually started cracking. That's interesting, but again, for it to crack, you would need a certain amount of thickness, I think. If it's just actually, yeah, there's that. Plus, it's also foam rather than curd because I'll show you in a second. But even if you don't include PVA, if you put this on foam, it will stay on the surface. Whereas what I'm seeing here is that it's getting mostly absorbed. Because, say, take this one for example. Oops. This is the one that we quoted earlier. It's you can see that those shiny spots where it's still curing, but otherwise it's practically invisible. I think it just gets absorbed into the thing. Plus, there's also the thing about how thick you put it on. I would say that with PVA, especially, a coating of any thickness is going to crack. I think actually that was one of the ways to do crackle painting. Actually, using PVA because it will cause the thing to shrink. So if we can get these to fall down. Okay, so let's see. There are a lot of variables on what I made. Once I played with the mix a lot, might not have been an optimal mix. I was also using this on foam tombstones for a Halloween year display. Weather might have been the big factor, or just sun exposure. Sun exposure will change a lot of things. As I was mentioning earlier, I'm not planning to use any of this for external use. It's literally just for interior use. In this case, for example, the this paste is not even remotely water repellent. Hey Nick, good to see you. So if it gets soaked in water, what will happen is that it will break apart. So yeah, Nick had actually shown me a channel. I mentioned this a bit earlier in the stream, but I think you were not here yet. Nighthawk and Light. The guy was using pretty much this, but then he was adding on a final coating of shellac and beeswax to make it water resistant. Plus, then even that is not UV resistant, so that will break down if you leave it out in the sun. But he did develop a couple of options to make it UV resistant as well. So a great channel. I'll drop the link in the comments later. Okay, so far the verdict is: do I think this is viable? Yes. Am I enjoying this? Eh. I could make it work. I think it's just I think it's just something I need to get used to. Although, yeah, I mean, like from what I'm seeing so far over here, I'll come back to them in a second. I think it's definitely viable for terrain making use. Definitely need to seal it with something in the end and so on, but this looks fine, I guess. And also, I'm handling things a little roughly because I've got to keep everything between the camera and in frame and stuff. I'm pretty sure if I set up my workspace properly, it would be a lot easier. Yeah, let's put on another piece. Okay, so let's leave this alone for a second. See what I was talking about because of the way I was handling it, I crashed this area. So that's definitely something to be careful about. Because remember, as we're covering this with this glue, we're basically flooding it with water as well. Let's see. I have a lot of cardboard terrain. I would cut square sheets, alternate the grain, and stack them. Glued with hot glue gun on high settings, pressed flat, carve and cut parts. Moat was broken stone. Building so I could cover open edges with PVA, sand and gravel. Ah, most of Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. Why did you use hot glue for those? As in, I mean, I think PVA would be a much better choice for that, especially since you're overlapping the corrugation. It shouldn't warp as much. So let's see. This guy seems to be completely dry right now. There isn't really any trace of the thing on the surface except this little bit here. Okay, this guy. Hey, just got rid of a bug. This is not cured yet, so might just give it a little longer, but it seems to be pretty solidly set. Speed. I mean, again, it's like PVA on cardboard cures almost instantly. It's like I really don't see a benefit to using hot glue gun there. Then again, I am very anti hot glue gun to be honest. Okay, so here's where we're at so far. Here, this thing has mostly dried. There's still some stuff on the inside that's still wet. It's not completely solid, so it can still move a bit. I'm just not going to move it too much yet to give it some time. This one is well, it's warped pretty heavily. So if I hold it up here, you can see it's opened up completely. The center seems to have held on pretty well, though. Again, I'll just leave it here and then we'll see what it's like when it's dry. Yeah, and yeah, this thing is definitely attracting insects. You, shoo. It worked for me at the time. As I added details, they were mostly added with PVA. Okay. So on this side of things, I think this kind of layering over with paper, I think this might be useful to, hide those open edges on the corrugation when you build something like that, like loosely collected is mentioning. Actually, we've got an open edge here. We can just do that right now. Okay, I'm going to go grab my machete and flamethrower and head back to the jungle. Have a great day, folks. Okay, you stay safe out there. Also, if anyone has any thing they want to show in the community showcase, link coming up in the chat. As soon as I can copy and paste it properly. Yeah, okay. So let's see. The stream has been running for about an hour, so I'd say that the drying time is definitely slower than PVA. PVA does not take this amount of time on this kind of cardboard. So mostly it's almost ready to go in a few minutes. So there's that thing to factor in. Also, yeah, this absolutely needs to, if you're going to do this paper covering, just make sure that the thing under it has already set first. Because what I'm doing every time I'm moving it, I'm working the jointer and it's never going to set properly. So this one will literally just be an experiment to have a look at how the finish ends up, rather than any kind of structural thing. Since we're here, see if I have any within easy reach. it might be a good idea to test it out also on the other kind of card that I use pretty frequently. But I mean, if it works for that. Let's see, let's see, let's see. And I do have some shingles. Yeah, let's use the shingles. I think these are actually the offcuts. But yeah, you just going to glue them directly on this guy. And later on we'll figure out how well they stuck. Yeah, I've totally destroyed this one. Right. I think I'll just give everything a few minutes to set. So while we're waiting, I am just going to have a super quick water break, and I'll catch you in about 5 minutes. Okay? See you in a second. Okay, I'm back. Also took the time for a quick costume change. That was 35 degrees with centigrade with feels like of 41 here. So the PC says the temperature right now is 29 degrees centigrade, but I'm pretty sure it's lying. Okay, so we've got the two we glue together the face. I'm gonna say it's not fully dry yet, but I think it's enough to give it test it, give it a little push, see how it goes. And they're not sliding apart, so that's good. In a few minutes, I'll try to actually pull them apart to see how that goes. But I'm just going to wait till it dries a bit longer, give it a fair chance. Now this one, the outside doesn't feel tacky anymore, except these shiny spots. The inside is still way much. Oh, come on. And this one is still a soggy mess. Okay, this is one of the things that worries me because yeah, there's this has bowed quite a bit. Again, might be fixable by going with cross layers and then joining them like this. I mean, with cardboard, it's a lot easier than wood, so that's another thing that might be worth experimenting. Now, this one had the entire surface coated. It's completely invisible now. And one thing I'm noticing is that after drying, it doesn't seem to have warped much, if at all. So that's good to know. Okay, so this one can just stay here for now. The other things I wanted to experiment today, like sanding over the thing, I think they'll have to wait a bit longer because that's mostly going to work on this one where I've textured it over with paper, and that's got a way to go before it dries. It's still very shiny. That all that has to cure. Okay. So nothing in the community showcase so far. Yeah, I really want to try this out now. So I'm just going to try to peel it open. I'm pretty sure it's not even cured yet, but yeah, let's see. Okay, this is that's a good sign. The paper delaminated from the corrugated card, and I say that's a good sign because that means that that this adhesive is stronger than the adhesive used to put the cardboard together. So possibly, if we find a way to saturate that even further, it might even reinforce the whole thing, which is nice. Here, the thing that's kind of annoying me is the drying time because again, this is like an hour in, and I think the same thing with PVA would have taken minutes. And so far, I'm not seeing that this would be significantly stronger than PVA. Now for the other, I mean, the final thing would be the sending test because if I can get to send this, then basically I could see myself doing the bulk of the work in PVA and then doing the surfacing and finishing with wheat paste so that then I can sand it and do other stuff on top. I mean, just because I can use one material doesn't mean I have to use one material for everything. Sorry, one glue. I have to use one glue for everything. So that might be worth looking into. But again, I need to test out the sanding before I can decide on that. I was going to send this one, but to be honest, it's well, I mean, it's already smooth. It's like there is nothing to sand under. The other thing I could test maybe is like there it is. No, they're the same. I was thinking maybe compare some of the card with the glue versus without the glue, but I mean, it's card. I mean, if I put a pencil on it, it's going to make a hole. So that's kind of a wash as a test. So we're just waiting on this guy. But that's got a while to go. Probably that's not going to be dry today. Okay, so is wood glue sandable? Not all kinds of wood glue. Some of them are. The PVA I normally use definitely isn't. It's very rubbery, so what will happen is that if you try to sand it, it will just tear up, get stuck in the ruin the sandpaper, and it's not a very pleasant experience. In general, though, I think most PVA glues are not sandable, if I'm not mistaken. And what you'll see is mostly people will try to remove as much as possible before they start sanding. I mean, they put down the PVA, then they remove any excess before it dries. So, yeah, I would suspect that most of it is not really sandable. See if we missed anything here. No, we're good. So, yeah, I mean, basically, the glue works as far as I can see. I'm pretty sure that most of you Americans would not like it because it takes a bit of time. I mean, especially if you're in the glue gum brigade. I I can see its use for certain parts already. I mean, would I use it for the cores of buildings? Not really, because volume and drying time, it's kind of a tiny amount of PVA just get moving much more quickly. On the other hand, yeah, I think for if I can get this dry and test send it. One example that I would like to use it for example, is to make paper covered cardboard hills. Something like loosely connected was saying. So basically, you stack up cardboard to make up the bulk, and then you use the paper to hide the corrugation and the edges, because that should be super solid. Other than that, there's a few other things that I would like to do, which are not directly related to the glue, but I'll probably be doing them off stream because I need a bit more space. Stuff like, for example, weight testing. I'm saying that something like building a small structure and putting weights on top of it to make sure that it can carry the weight. I'm not planning to put anything super heavy on them, but it's good to have an idea of how much pressure it can take. It should take a fair amount, to be honest, because even if we take just a regular piece of cardboard, yeah, just move this somewhere where it's actually visible. Okay, if I press down on it, it takes a while to actually do that. And this is just a single sheet along the corrugation. Across the corrugation, it's a lot weaker. It goes almost immediately. But again, that's one sheet. You take two sheets, or you put an angle. Actually, yeah, this is a good idea. This has a crease in it. It should be a bit stronger. And I am putting a fair amount of weight on it, and the bottom is not going to be very happy, but it did hold. So it's a case of structure and alignment, and it can take a fair amount of weight. The pressure I was putting on it is definitely heavier than most pieces of terrain I have. I need to try this method, maybe on the dome of my windmill. Not sure how I'm going to resolve that one yet. Yeah, why don't you tell us about it? I think your problem was that you need to build up the dome somehow, yeah? So what I'm thinking is in your case, instead of just using wood glue, what you might want to use is a piece of paper drenched with spackle or polyfiller or whatever, because wood glue might not be sandable, but spackle definitely is. So you build up the dome around the substructure, and then you sand it down. Because I think I remember you showed me the what do you call it, the frame for it, I think. So that would be my way of doing it at least. The dome is built. I need to smooth it out. Hmm. Or don't. I mean, like, you know what? I mean, if you're going to put shingles on the dome, for example, that's it's already going to hide out of the angles. It's not going to look that angular if you've got the shingles all around it. Okay, so now what I'm seeing here, for example, is that apart from the fact that the glue inside is not dry yet, I'm trying to stay within the boundary of the challenge. I mean, the challenge is mostly paper and cardboard. It doesn't mean only paper and cardboard. Plus, I mean, if you made the shingles out of cardboard, then it's fine. I hope you didn't make the shingles out of popsicle sticks because that would take forever. Anyway, I was saying, One thing I can see here is that this is always going to have a bit of flex even after it's cured, because remember that the join is between this little strip of paper and basically the face of that card, which is, I want to say, 2 millimeters. So unsupported, that's always going to flex a lot. Okay, I'm not intending to put shingles on the dome. Okay, shingles are cardboard. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, no problem with wooden shingles, but cutting them takes forever. I mean, cutting cardboard shingles takes forever, but it's way easier. Okay, so this is interesting. This came apart completely. It's still soaked inside. It's super wet. Again, because of the way that it bowed, the point of contact was very small here. So far, again, basically what that tells me is that we need to be very careful when we're gluing along the corrugation. Here, I'm sure this is going to come apart as well if I try to fold it open. So I think I'll hold on to this until it dries better. If you this, yeah, absolutely not even close to drying. Okay, these pieces I glued on are still movable, because I mean they're floating on top of a layer of glue, so it will be a while before they set. So yeah, I think I'll call it a day with the experiments right now. I'll keep you posted on how the sanding goes and if this is any more stable once it cures. I think it's worth experimenting with it. There's some merit to this glue. I might look into other ratios and maybe some other additives to make it more effective. But yeah, the curing time is going to be a problem for me, I think. But for some stuff, if I can get to send it, then it will be worth it for some things. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at the showcase to see if anyone posted anything. No, okay, we're clear. That's why I haven't been as chatty. I've been holding cardboard together while curing. I mean, look, didn't you just buy a whole lot of tiny clothes pegs and stuff? I mean, I'm pretty sure they are tiny, but I'm pretty sure they're fine for holding pieces together. But yeah, I think I'll call it a night for today because all this is going to take a while more. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. And yeah, see you next week for the. I really like the method I used to make shingles. They took forever to cut, but are a breeze to apply. Okay, definitely we should talk about that on Wednesday, maybe on your stream, and tell us how that worked, or tell us next week on the challenge stream. So yeah, if anyone is still wants in on the challenge, I'm just going to put the you can drop in on Discord, putting up the link now. And remember that the deadline for the challenge is today week. So that's the 30th of August. So everyone, thanks for joining us and have a fantastic week. Bye.